As we continue to progress through Super Mario's 35th anniversary and inch closer and closer to the quickly approaching release of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, I find myself wanting to follow up on my last video and rank the spin-off series within the Mario universe. So let's do that and let's talk about it. For those of you that are just discovering this channel with this video, first of all, if you end up enjoying this video, I'd appreciate you clicking that like button and subscribing to the channel for more videos like this every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And secondly, I gotta fill you in on my video from last week so you can understand how this video will work. I rated every mainline Super Mario game with a score from 1 to 35 in honor of the aforementioned 35th anniversary. The response to that video was about what I expected, but a distinction in that video seemed to fly over a lot of people's heads, with it being focused on the major console releases and all. Given the sheer amount of people that thought I forgot a couple of Mario series that I think of as spin-offs, I decided to intentionally rank all of those games in this video. And to add to the ground rules from that video and limit confusion in these comments, I am going to rank the spin-offs that spawn franchises in and of themselves. So that means no Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, no Super Princess Peach, not even Mario Paint. All of those really just got one major release. Next, since this is my list, I won't be ranking franchises I'm not familiar with, which is basically just Mario Picross. Sorry Picross fans, but I just can't get down with that, just being honest. It's also important to note that second only to how much I enjoy playing a game in a given franchise, a major thing I'll be basing each ranking on is how good of a job each spin-off does on setting itself apart from other Mario games, but more importantly, other games in the genre they're occupying. Finally, just to set the foundation, let's just establish that the Super Mario main series is S tier. Every other spin-off is going to be weighed against that. Other than that, same basic idea as the last video, so let's get started with Super Mario Land. In my opinion, the Super Mario Land series echoes the mainline Super Mario game's progression in the sense that in retrospect, it starts off relatively rough but makes marked improvements as time goes on. The original Super Mario Land is largely forgettable and the limitations of the original Game Boy hardware are very apparent. But then Super Mario Land 2 came out and was much better suited to the platform it was released on, and instead of feeling like a watered down version of a beloved thing, it feels like more of a recontextualized version made specifically for a different form factor, which in my opinion is an important distinction to make. I'm gonna skip over talking about Mario 3 for later. The reason as to why will be made clear in a bit, but I'll wrap up the Mario Land summary by saying I'm making the executive decision to include Super Mario 3D Land in this spin-off series for the sole reason that it followed the same logic I mentioned with the rest of the series. It took Mario to the Nintendo handheld world and designed it to thrive there as something more than a faint echo of the console games. The only major knock I'd give to this series is it didn't really age well in the sense that we don't have a need for it anymore. Every Mario game released from probably this point on for the rest of all time will be a handheld Mario game. That said, these games are all enjoyable enough, so I think I'm going to start off this video with a relatively strong rating of 25 out of 35 for the Mario Land series. Dr. Mario is the first true Mario spin-off in the sense that it takes a completely different approach to the way players interface with Mario. You don't even technically control Mario. Jumpman Mario doesn't jump a single time, and if that doesn't scream innovation to you, that's probably because this is also the first time in my mind that a new Mario series didn't completely reinvent or at the very least make notable changes to the genre it exists in. For what it's worth, the Dr. Mario motif is fun, the pills and viruses bit also is fun, and it's responsible for that mobile game I played that one time that spawns all sorts of doctor versions of Mario characters that make me fear for the health of Mushroom Kingdom residents, so that's cool. It's a good puzzle game series, don't get me wrong, but I can't say it stands out in its genre in the same way other Mario spin-offs do. With that in mind, I gotta give Dr. Mario a 20 out of 35. Yoshi is the first Mario spin-off franchise that in and of itself spawned multiple spin-offs, and with that comes a ton of inconsistency. As far as the Yoshi puzzle games, they feel a lot more like shameless attempts from Nintendo to throw their hat in the ring that Tetris built that, while again being fun, don't really amount to much in the realm of franchise material. I don't find myself or even others begging for the next Dr. Mario game, and the same can be said about the Yoshi puzzle games. That said, that isn't the case for Yoshi as a whole. Particularly, Yoshi's Island is one of my favorite spins on the Mario universe to date, and I honestly think is amongst the best 2D platformers that Nintendo has ever made. While no Yoshi platformer since has reached this high bar, I think all of them are at least good, including the DS games, so I'm going to go ahead and give the Yoshi series a 30 out of 35. There's not much that needs to be said about the Mario Kart franchise. The pedigree speaks for itself and the commercial success speaks for itself. There's literally no other spin-off series in the history of the concept that have earned themselves a legacy as respectable as Mario Kart. In fact, I would argue that the Mario Kart series at this point is more important to the Mario brand than the mainline Mario games, to the point that a 5-year-old port of a game in the Mario Kart series nearly doubles the sales of the mainline Super Mario entry on Switch. If I wasn't going in release order for the first game in each franchise, this would absolutely be the last game highlighted in this video, because I have to give Mario Kart a 35 out of 35. There's no real argument not to. If I was solely basing this list on my opinion of the games alone with no consideration for the spin-off's current day impact, I'd easily put Mario sports games above everything else, and I don't even care about sports. Or rather, I guess I should say it's because I don't care about sports and these games still pull me in. That remains true for literally every sport that has ever been Mario sportsified. Mario Tennis is always at the very least a solid enough tennis game. I wanted to say fantastic, but that Wii U release muddied the name of Mario Tennis too much for that. Mario Strikers actually is fantastic without the asterisk, and it baffles me that Nintendo doesn't care more about it. Hell, even golf is fun, and just saying the word golf in any other context bores me to tears. I honestly can't think of a Mario sports game that I haven't enjoyed, but I can't in good conscience give it that high of a score because it kinda lacks in the impact department. However, it's still getting a good score at 32 out of 35. Now, for the reason I glossed over Mario Land 3, Wario games. Originally, Wario was another Mario spin-off series that used a new character to change up the platform formula a bit, with Wario having a more featured moveset in his platforming debut that Mario didn't in his games, with Wario's ability to charge through walls and all that stuff. As time moved on though, like Yoshi, Wario grew to become much more than his platforming games. Honestly, he moved fully past platforming with the creation of WarioWare, which, although it's not super popular, is perhaps one of the most important Mario spin-offs in this video, because it single-handedly wrote the blueprint on quick bite-sized addictive games many mobile game developers today still learn from. The Wario series has been on a bit of a lull as of late, but I still think it's deserving of a respectable 30 out of 35. The Mario RPGs in my mind are more important to the Mario world in a lore sense than any other Mario game, and when I say that, I more so mean the Mario and Luigi RPGs, as they're referred to in Japan, than I do the Square-developed Super Mario RPG, as that doesn't seem to be or contribute to the canon. And apart from that, this is where the writers on staff at Alpha Dream, may that dev rest in peace, and Nintendo get to have fun in a sandbox that doesn't get a whole lot of room to breathe elsewhere. The gameplay is enjoyable as far as RPGs go, and I still find myself craving to play these games despite them not releasing a brand new one in quite some time. Going to give this spin-off series a 33 out of 35. Paper Mario in a lot of ways is great for the same reason the Mario RPGs are great, but the series has seen a lot of growing pains in its attempt to differentiate itself from them and, well, I mean, from itself. Its combat in particular has struggled in a lot of the recent iterations, with new ideas failing to land more often than not. I for one enjoy the latest Paper Mario in the form of Paper Mario Origami King, thanks to the writing and non-combat gameplay always at the very least being enjoyable to me. I gotta say, every Paper Mario game has at least been worth playing. I can't completely let the Paper Mario franchise off the hook though for stumbling along the way, so Paper Mario is getting a 28 out of 35. Mario Party is almost always good casual fun. For the most part, I love the chaotic sessions that its formula encourages, but there are a ton of head-scratching decisions that both have been seen in individual games, particularly during the Wii and Wii U era, with the strange handling of the board game aspect of the franchise, and in an overall sense with Nintendo's admittedly on-brand refusal to truly embrace online gaming. But I have to say the mini-games are always at the very least fun to laugh at, and Mario Party as a whole at the very least is reliable for releasing good games for super casuals and beginners to play, so I'll give it some credit and afford it the score of 29 out of 35. Side note, check out my latest Mario Party video if you want to know what I think it would need to become a 35 out of 35. Linked in the card above, but I digress. Luigi's Mansion is another high point for Mario spin-off franchises for me. As I talked about in the RPG portion of the video, I love seeing the Mario world being fleshed out, and these games make Luigi so much more of an enjoyable character to play as and watch in cutscenes. The lighthearted horror game concept where the goal isn't so much to be scared, but rather to be courageous for Luigi is a brilliant way to build a game in my opinion. The Ghostbusters-like angle is also a genius one if you ask me. I still think the people that stick their nose up at this game for not being a Mario game are stupid. Again, I don't even care if you tell Bob, and because of that, I'm giving Luigi's Mansion a 34 out of 35. I'm gonna be real, a major reason I decided to be laser focused in my first Mario ranking video is because of the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Don't get me wrong, the original game was a fantastic idea as it was released during a time where releasing a new major 2D game in the Mario franchise felt like a pipe dream and was novel for that reason. But since that game was released and sold gangbusters, the new Super Mario Bros. Series felt so manufactured and cookie cutter to me that I actively wish they would can it in favor of creating fresh new takes on the Mario formula like they used to with the 2D Mario games. That said, this franchise is important as it's a good on-ramp for new players to the Mario games and it's nostalgia bait for the parents that pick it up for them, so I gotta give New Super Mario Bros. A 31 out of 35. Mario Maker is one of those ideas that was just so blatantly obvious to make that you would think it almost turned out to be pretty uninteresting. But, and I mean this especially for the original game, Nintendo found a way to make a Mario level designing simulator charming and wholly original. Also, this game is a hardcore Mario platforming fan's dream with literal endless amounts of levels to play and obviously create. The power to use the knowledge of the designs that have made the Mario series what it is today to make your own, hopefully well-designed levels, or make neat showcases of the game's engines like auto runners, or more likely troll your friends, makes this game truly a special thing to behold. And fittingly enough, the Mario Maker franchise is as much about having options as any Nintendo game could possibly dream to be. The original game and Mario Maker 2 to a lesser degree showed us how awesome it could be if Nintendo truly embraced the concept of content updates, and so much more that I don't have the time to go into here. Maybe I'll make a full video about some of these spin-offs, who knows? But with that, again, much like the last video, here's the final tier list all laid out for you guys to get mad at, rather than just making your own list based on your own opinion, as is all of our rights as users on the internet. And this time, I won't have it blocked by my lower third by mistake. Sorry about that. But that reminds me, you guys should follow me on Twitter and we can talk about our opinions in a civil manner over there. In fact, do me a favor and leave me a comment regardless of if you talk to me on Twitter or not. If you don't have a list, what's your favorite Mario item or power-up? That should be a fun thing to talk about. Maybe that's a video I should make in the future. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider clicking the subscribe button and ringing the bell to be notified when new videos go up like this every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, that's it for me. See you next week.